Hi viewers, welcome to Majesty Christian Television Network. My name is Apostle Helen Rudokeno. Well, I think it would be nice to even say Happy Valentine, belated Happy Valentine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So, thank you for joining, and we are very grateful, and we appreciate your relationship as well. So, in this broadcast of today, we are going to look into the unfavorable socioeconomic issues of Bijlmer Centrum. So, it's going to be question and answer, and we hope our panelists will be able to do justice to the questions which we are going to ask them. So as an introduction, very often in the Bijlmer Centrum, 3 out of 10 households have a low income. 30% of the family heads also have a low level of education. So the 3 most important socioeconomic problems affecting this area are unemployment, loneliness, which is about 19% versus 11% of Amsterdamers, and the lack of participation in the society, which is 75% versus 87% for those who are from Amsterdam. So we are talking about those who are from the Bijlmer Center. So in this program, question and answers are to be discussed with our panelists who are community leaders and community figures. So they are residing here in Bijlmer, so we intend to know from them whether they are aware of these socio-economic issues in Bijlmer Centrum, and probably they may have some tips as per how we can bring a solution to this issue. So permit me to introduce you to my guest for today. So we have one of our popular, anyway, the two, they are popular here. So they are becoming our regular speakers. So we have Mr. Ni Taki, who is an ex-police officer and also a community leader. Can you say hello to our audience, please?
Hello. Grateful to be here with you.
Thank you so much, sir. And then we have Mr. Richard Dodo as well, who is very controversial in his own way and also a leader in the community. So, Mr. Richard, please.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
I always like to tap you into your people's intelligence, because these two men, they are really loaded. I was just saying to them some few minutes ago, what your brain is enough to really revolutionize Africa and put Africa in where Africa is supposed to be. So those of you who are watching, if you know those in the government who are our presidents and who are our prime ministers, please tell them to come and catch these two people. Take them back to Africa and draw out what is in their head. Please draw it out and sit them among other school of thoughts and see what they can plan for Africa. I'm not joking, I really mean it. Right, so that is it for now. And those who are tuned in, who are our internet viewers, please remember that you can always make your comments, and those also who want to call into the studio line, please feel free and give us a call on the studio line, which is 02037. You know the rest. you know the rest. So that is it for now. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I welcome you once again.
Thank you for having us here.
All right. So can we take the first point? On unemployment. So, which key factors have driven or still do apparent higher unemployment in Bijlmer Centrum?
Would you want me to take it, or you want to take it?
Any one of you.
Okay.
Well, either to I will say there is a system here in the Bijlmer,
Yeah.
where migrants, undocumented migrants, have a way of getting employed. There are people here who are not in position to work anymore.
Oh, okay.
So these migrants who have just come to the Bijlmer use their documents to work.
Oh.
They they go to the employers and say, oh, this is me. But in actual fact, they are not the owners of the document.
Oh.
So people work on the people's documents. They use their names, and when they look alike, they present the document as they, and they work. But with time, the authorities have found out, and as a result, they intermittently go to carry swaps at the working places.
Oh.
And then as a result, the worker is left alone, but the person working is taken on by the law. And with time, they change the system. Now the employer is fined 10,000 euros for employing an undocumented person.
Oh.
As a result, now the undocumented are shying away for the fear that they might be arrested and prosecuted.
Yes.
And then the employer too may be fined 10,000 euros.
Okay.
So this is creating unemployment. Unlike before.
I would differ.
You differ.
I would
Yeah.
differ.
Well, in my
Let him
estimation,
finish, yes.
in my estimation, that accounts to probably 50% of the unemployment situation.
Yeah.
Because previously, a migrant just comes in and then asks, oh, do you have a document? I want to use your papers to look for a job. And within a week, he is in employment working. Now,
Wow.
people too, the documented, most often take advantage of the undocumented. At the end of the month, when the money is paid into his account, he takes 1/3 of the money and 2/3 goes to the person who is actually doing the work. Now, there came a time when the documented too are refusing to honor their part of the bargain.
Yeah.
They want to take probably 50% or even.
Did you get the question?
Yeah.
Seriously, did you get the question? I'm asking this because I think you're tracking off a little bit. Yes.
No. When
All right, you're coming.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I would have to come in because I totally disagree with what you said.
All right.
Okay.
Totally.
You okay?
Yeah, okay. The question was, do we kind of understand some of the factors that has led to high unemployment
Yes.
in the community?
Yeah.
This is the question.
Yeah.
And
that's the question.
exactly. And where you took it from, I dare differ. I don't think that had any merit to this.
No, I
But-
think he has some facts.
No,
Let's hear
again,
you.
I'm
Put
just,
your case across.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
You
going
put your case across.
I'm going to put my case across because I strongly believe that it has the factors you basically put on the table are factors that has been here for God knows how long.
Okay.
It's not a new thing, and you would agree with that. Okay.
You put your case across.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting my case across. Unemployment today, as we see it in Amsterdam Southeast, has so many factors.
Okay, give us.
The main factor today is the fact that most of our young men and women are literally sidelined based on what I would term as, I dare use the word, racially motivated refusal of employment. Okay? I use that because I am fully aware of the fact that there was a time when African women and men alike were basically doing the cleaning jobs. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
they can't even get it because it's being given to people from Bulgaria,
Yes, exactly.
people from Poland,
Yeah.
and you name it.
Yes.
Okay, so already you see how people are being made redundant.
Yeah.
And then they have to go look for a job elsewhere where the story is the same
Okay.
because they would rather pick someone from Poland.
But what's the reason for that?
This is why I said I dare.
Younger or what?
No, I don't think it has to do with younger because
Right, so
the details you just spoke out was the fact that there's a fraction of migrants that have fallen aside and therefore do not have what it takes to basically become quote unquote employable. But if the playing fields were equal. In other words, people are not being looked at based on quote unquote wherever it is that their AFTCOM is, as in where they come from, then we will not be having this discussion, and therefore this whole scenario of unemployment in this region would not even be an issue. Okay, because majority of people in the Amsterdam Southeast are migrants. Majority of people that live in Amsterdam Southeast are migrants. And then of course comes what he was trying to relate to, as in terms of undocumented people. But you see, when the statistics came out, the statistics did not put in the undocumented. The statistics was purely for the documented, because it's the documented that gave them that statistics.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Because they don't know about, or even if they did know about the unemployed state of undocumented people, it would not be put in that report, because they don't know who these undocumented people are. So I do understand what you were trying to illustrate, but I dare differ, because I think the focus should not be there. The focus should be on the fact that we have men and women who are fully skilled, have permits to work here, but when they go to companies looking for jobs, they are not taken. And they are not taken because of reasons. One has to do with their where their origin is, and secondly, the fact that they don't also speak the language.
Yeah, exactly.
So these are some of the major factors that I think if we address, we would then be, knocking on wood.
I am happy you stated that my submission was something that has transpired before.
Yeah.
And in your pick, you are saying, you are rather adding to it that it might have changed slightly. Let me put it this way. Because of ethnicity, Ghanaians, normally even when they are going on vacation, they leave their job to fellow Ghanaians in the cleaning area.
Okay.
Oh, she will take you to where she works and tell you and lead you through how she cleans the home, and then tell you, I'm going on vacation for 3 months or 1 month. Do this job for me. When I come, I take my job back.
Okay.
Others to sell the job to the new migrants. Oh, I've got about 4, 5 houses I clean. I can give you 2 for such amount.
But those ones are...
Those are not documented employment.
No, no, they are not documented.
What
So
I'm saying is...
You're delving into a part which I think we should not even be delving into. The reason I'm saying that is because cleaning somebody's house and being paid 10 euros an hour or 8 euros an hour is not part of the statistics.
No.
Well, if you say it is not part of the statistics...
It is not. Because they don't know who is cleaning whose house and who's getting what. They don't know. They don't pay taxes.
Let me tell you this if you don't know.
Okay, tell me.
These people with those statistics, there are certain jobs most documented migrants don't do, especially in the cleaning areas.
No.
So they know once the cleaning is going on,
Yeah.
then the undocumented are doing that job. So if you tell me their statistics is based on only documented, I also beg to differ.
Well,
Because
I think
I picked up a job some time ago at the bank. 80% of the workers there are undocumented. The documented workers were just few. So those who are coming up with these statistics are aware of the fact that there are certain jobs. Look, you wouldn't see a documented going to clean somebody's house. And that house ought to be cleaned. Who cleans it?
no.
The undocumented are doing those menial jobs.
Mr. Taki, no, listen.
No, they have some cleaners who are doing...
Listen, we're talking apples and bananas. I understand they're all fruits. Don't get me wrong. I do understand they're all fruits. But what you need to understand is that if you have a home and your home needs to be cleaned,
Yes,
it is your responsibility.
Yes.
So you're not telling the taxman that I'm paying this person this money to clean my house. Exactly. You're not telling the taxman that.
No.
So it is not for discussion.
Yeah, like even my office here.
Do you get it?
Yeah, so...
It is.
Somebody cleans your office?
Also, like, I cannot go and get those who have school market bid, right?
Exactly.
To come and be. But there are
Yeah.
Others who can just
Do it.
Yeah.
yeah, yes, and they are doing it every week, like
Yeah.
Huh?
because you have to give them so amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get those who have the ground or
The drive to do that. Yeah.
then they will charge you.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And
They'll
this
charge you,
is why I'm telling you that where you're going with your submission, it's a non-starter. It's totally a non-starter. So let's address the real factors that lead to unemployment.
Yeah.
You
Unemployment.
get the real factors. The real factors, one of which is not speaking the
The
language.
language, I think that's the major thing.
I think that's a major thing as
So
well.
that's
and,
major,
and
I
then
think that's the major thing because that's what they are using.
yeah,
But even though some jobs you can still do them without even needing the language, being perfect in the language. But I mean, if it is like why hide that? All of us know those small
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
as long as
Do you
can.
consider age too as a barrier to
Of
unemployment?
Oh
Age
yes,
is
oh
also-
yes. Age is also
Age is
yeah.
also a barrier.
Yeah.
Yes, age is so-
I wouldn't dispute that.
Age is-
Yeah,
age
age.
is
So
one-
language, age, we get that.
Yeah.
More
Okay.
especially to the migrants who are not doing any professional work, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
age becomes a barrier.
Correct.
And even those in the professional as well, if you happen to be working as a professional, maybe you've reached age of retirement here. Like we're talking about those who studied here. So if you reach age of retirement, okay, then but if you have not even entered and there's no way to practice whatever you read, then it will be
Well,
Age plays a role because I know someone who
yes, it is because they don't even employ them.
right. I know someone who started working at a particular place. The person has the right qualifications for what the person wanted to do, but just by sheer merit that the person was above 50 years old,
Yes.
they realized that the person would cost them more.
Yeah.
and therefore they would rather take someone who is younger.
Yeah, that's what they
Do you get it? So these barriers are also part and parcel of why a lot of people end up in the unemployment brackets.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so what is the perspective for the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it's changing a little bit, and I've had I would say a personal encounter. There are companies today that have also come to understand that experience actually counts.
Are you sure?
100%.
Where are these companies?
They are here in Holland.
Are you sure?
100%.
When you
Why
take
don't you
into
direct us
consideration-
then?
No,
Make
listen.
it known.
If you take into consideration some of these migrants,
What you
from-
saying is very important
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'm saying that there are companies that are now understanding that if you're building a team, right, and you say you want only young people in the team, you're missing out on experience. Because if you add 1 or 2 experienced people in that team, it helps the younger ones also learn from these experienced ones. So that narrative, that narrative is also being played out today in some human resource offices.
Yes.
I had discussions with like 4 people so far, and the underlining factor is that they would rather bring 1 or 2 people who are more experienced into the team. But the thing is, even though you're experienced does not mean that they will be paying you that high amount that you're looking for.
No.
So they'll tell you that we'll bring you on board at this level,
Yeah.
and once you prove them of worthy of your experience, then that increment can come.
Yeah.
So there is that narrative as well that is also playing
Which is very
in the
good.
employment sector. So that there's so many things happening.
Mm.
You just have to be knowledgeable to
Can
it.
we add education? People come here as migrants, let's assume from Poland and other places. They are novices in terms of the language, but they want to work. Others come here, they spend a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 to educate themselves well in the Dutch language. Unfortunately, only few are able to establish their own businesses. So, a quantum of these migrants has come to realize that wasting 4 or 5 years to study and acquire a diploma, thinking the diploma will give him, a higher remuneration, ends up in the cleaning area because you are not in a position to establish your own company. You know, so after all your education, getting a diploma in the Dutch language and all that, since you can establish your own business, you are going to be employed and you'll be paid hourly. So recent migrants are ignoring their education and going straight to the job, onto the job. And when it happens that way, the question of higher or lower wages become irrelevant because he has to survive, pay his rent, feed himself, medically. As a result of these situations, going to school for a year, 2, 3, actually create problems for migrants. And it leads to unemployment. You see? So if you take age and
going to
education,
school, who is paying for that school?
who is paying for the school?
Is it because if the person is undocumented, wait, you cannot get any education,
Education
free. So who is paying for the school you're talking about?
Look, there are organizations here who are having systems, like the Recogin, for instance. You go there are computers there, you can go and study computer, you can go and learn the Dutch language for free. Yeah, if you go to the Recogin office, am I lying? There is
They have facilities
there.
where if you want to learn the basics of how to use a computer and stuff like that, you can go there for it. Yes, they do have that. Yeah, and it's not only Recogin, other organizations also have that. But again.
But have you cared to ask how frequent people go there on this? You see, people have to survive, so they don't want to waste time on this education and whatnot. You see, they want to have a job to do to pay their rent and survive.
Yeah, because the issue, when they go there, are they being taught really how? Are they being taught the major things which you're supposed to know as a user of the computer that will help you get a job?
Of late,
or you only go and
of late,
you only go and learn how to send emails.
Most companies are no more writing letters. They are corresponding with their clients via the net.
Yes, exactly.
So if you are not a computer literate, it will affect you. Even the drive companies like the water, electricity,
to be computer literate,
yes, they are all stopping writing letters.
Of course. So what I mean is like
so you must know the fundamentals in the computer.
But this is her question now. That's the question she's asking. She's asking that if you go to learn this computer thing, is it helping you into a job?
Yeah.
I don't see it so, because how many jobs can you get where you go and sit behind a computer? Going to learn a computer is to assist yourself personally, actually access your documents
what
online.
I was hoping you would say was that yes, indeed, it can also assist you to get a job, because these jobs are put online, for example.
Yeah.
So if you learn how to click A, click B, and understand, if I'm looking for this job, I type this and I go here. If you talk like that, then basically you are onto something. But the way where you I'm sorry, but
you see, well, you have a point to make. The viewers are there to judge our submissions. It is not you to decide whether.
No. I'm not deciding. But
trying to find a solution.
Correct.
To the problem.
But what I'm trying to.
What actually leads to the unemployment?
Well, my question again is, what is the perspective for the next 5 to 10 years before we digress to another point?
I think for the next 5 to 10 years, we should revisit whatever leadership we have in the community when it comes to when it comes to migrants. Our representation basically is I think is getting stale, because most of the people who were vibrant in trying to steer progress, as in prosperity and what have you within the community, are all very aged now. And I strongly believe that if we kind of hand over the baton to potentials within the system or within the community who are young people who understand the need of why we should come together to help each other, then we would be on something. But if we are unable to address that issue, most of these people would fade away and pass on with all the knowledge they have. And that in itself will also not help the community. That's just my take on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, in my estimation, in the next 5-10 years,
Mm-hmm.
when we seriously have to look at unemployment
Mm-hmm.
in the Bijlmer, it's going to be very serious.
Why do you say that?
It's going to be very serious and difficult even to get a job to do here. Because there is something they call fast, which simply means if you work for about a year, 2, 3, your employer has to actually give you the term a permanent worker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And most employers are trying to avoid that. Because when people are made fast or they are termed a permanent worker, they start to malinger.
Yes.
Today I'm sick,
Yes.
tomorrow I'm not well.
It's true.
So employers are always very careful to give the permanency to workers.
Yes, 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 yes.
You know,
Yeah.
there are instances where even if you work for about 3, 4, 5 years, he will lay you off. You go and sit in the house for about 3, 4
months.
months,
And come back.
and call you again.
Instead of
You
giving
come
you the
back,
facts.
then you start all over again.
Yes.
Simply because he doesn't want to make you permanent.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's a system of exploiting the workforce. And it's contributing.
I agree with you
Yeah, it's contributing
To-
to unemployment.
to an extent. Okay, I do agree with you to an extent, but I say that there are companies that don't play this game. Okay, there are companies
How
that
many
do
are
not.
Yeah, but many of the companies.
many
Um,
of them
you see, we cannot generalize.
I think maybe the
we-
factory workers.
The
We
factory
we
workers,
yeah,
we,
not,
we
yeah.
cannot generalize,
Yes.
and I say this in the strongest of terms, because I believe strongly that in as much as there are bad apples everywhere, it doesn't mean that they are more than the good apples, because sometimes because it's the bad apple, it gives the rest of the apples bad names, but it doesn't mean that they are actually also bad apples. Do you get it? So yes, I do understand that this game is being played by some companies, but I don't think that we can sit here and talk on authority that there are more of those bad ones than there are good ones. Do you get it? So I would rather, and again, I think the sectors in which we all work is different.
yeah.
I mean, there are people in certain sectors who, when you talk like this, they'll look at you like you're alien, because they are not aware of this and they would never encounter it in their lives.
Yes.
So I think that what we should look at is how can the community, as in the people within the community, become gainful employees and then be also productive to the community. How do we do this? Now, I've sat in a few meetings, and I think I don't know if it's fair for me to mention their name, but the SP, which is a political party.
Yeah.
I had audience with them the other day, and they are looking at ways in which they can literally make people gainful employment. But they are looking at it from a very social standpoint, where they know that people that don't have jobs,
Yeah.
of course, fall on the government for
Yeah.
assistance,
Yeah.
and they know that over a particular time, then the government is also going to say, I'm not going to continue paying you if you are not working.
Yes.
You know.
But where do they want them to get a work? If I'm not going to continue paying you,
Yeah, but
if you're not working,
yeah, but the government,
where do they want you to get?
the government has made provision for certain companies to employ people who are from this bucket of outcaring, and maybe the job isn't something that you would like. Do you get it? But they are making you work to get something, which is slightly more than they are actually giving you. Do you get it? Especially in the area of letter sorting, as in sorting letters and things like that. Or post, exactly. Those areas are all under the city staff jail.
Like
Put
the
it that way.
panther, those who put on fork and knives for the plagues.
Exactly.
and all
All these
that.
things.
It's for the handicapped who normally sit at one place and then.
Yeah. So if you can't,
Oh, really?
yeah. I mean, there are provision for all of
One
this.
fork, one knife. tissue paper around it, and they pack it and they send it to the plane. So if you get on the plane, those fork and knife you see, people are employed to sit and do that job.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But let us look at this too.
Yeah.
There's a system here where workers are taken care of at the GAC, where you lose your job, you'll be given something, a stipend every month for 2 years. After the 2 years, you'll be called and they will assess you whether you've made an effort to look out for a job.
Correction.
Or not.
Correction.
Go ahead.
No, correction. No, when he says for 2 years, and that's not correct.
It's not for 2 years. For how long?
No.
Because I stayed for 2 years.
Yeah, but
that work,
listen.
So
based on the number of hours that you've worked in the country, that is what is calculated to tell you whether you would go 2 years or even more. So don't make it automatic that they are going to give you 2 years. Okay?
Around 2 years.
No, of course not. Every year. Listen, every year the law. Every year.
Yeah.
Not besides the law changing, but every year if you've worked, you've earned 1 month. If you work for 3 years, you've earned 3 months. Go to the hack page and read about it.
So that means if you didn't work.
No, but this is a new.
You work for a long time to have ended.
Yeah, but this system kicked in. I think two or three years ago. That's when the system kicked in.
Really?
So, indeed, what you're saying does not apply now.
Oh well, it has been in existence before.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't apply now.
Okay.
So update the information you have.
Okay,
That's
so
all I'm saying.
What you're trying to say is that now it is more strict.
Yeah. If you worked a year, you've earned
Only
1 month.
to stay at home.
Correct. Under hack, if you're going to go for that 70% of your last salary.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
So things are getting tougher.
After
Yeah, I mean they're saving money. That's basically what it is. They're saving money.
They're saving money.
To the
And that
detriment
is
of
pushing people to actually look for job anywhere, in any kind of job.
Yeah.
You see?
I think that is where this is heading towards. Because I mean someone, let's say, who is a policeman who becomes unemployed, would not want to literally go and work with I don't want to degrade any profession here, but you know what I'm trying to say. That person is looking for a job within that bracket. Exactly. Exactly. But as it is now, you wouldn't find. So if, for example, they find you a job as somebody who cleans a table, or as a janitor, for example, you would literally say, no, I'm not going to do that because I went to university, I did this, I did that. You get my point. These are some of the factors that we all have to look at and understand that the system is not literally looking at that. The system is looking at saving money.
Yeah. But is it only applicable to the migrant community, or if the indigenous also
across board? It's across board.
They lose their job.
It's across board. But the thing is, the rate at which quote unquote migrants are falling off the tracks is higher than
But
the regular batch.
Permit me to look at this. When we talk about unemployment, basically in the Bible,
who are they unemployed?
are we looking at the educated, or we are looking at the migrants? Because if you say statistically,
what are you saying now? Are you saying migrants are not educated? Migrants are very educated.
I'm not saying migrants are
Okay.
uneducated.
All right then.
All I'm saying is there are migrants here who were born here. They've been to school. They've completed school. They hold their diplomas. Some are lawyers. Some are doctors. Some are, accountants and all that.
Yeah.
They are not cleaners, and they are employed into the system automatically. There are certain jobs below that standard.
I think what
when we look at unemployment, let us categorize it.
I think the first thing we should categorize is who is a migrant, because what you just said with regards to someone who was born here, you still classify the person a migrant based on the submission you just made.
Parents are migrants.
Then the person automatically becomes a migrant. Is what you're saying?
No, there they regard themselves as Dutch because they were born here.
Yeah, so then why would we regard them as migrants?
But they are called allochtoners.
Yes.
Yeah, allochtoner.
Allochtoner.
Yeah, but that is why I'm asking.
Besides, let us look
That's
at
what they are called.
The Surinamese are here, the Moroccans, the Turks, the Antillians. And you see, so the job system affects people ethnically. You see, you could realize that most Moroccans are chefs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Chefs, where?
In most of the companies.
Yeah. Really.
Oh, when you say chef, you mean bosses or
bosses?
Oh, I thought you meant cooks.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, and you ask yourself why Ghanaians are not in the chef area, and you see,
they're not ready to drive or to pass.
I would
to get the license that will qualify them.
No. I don't think all Moroccans are.
Okay, gentlemen, let us go to the other points. Otherwise, we will remain only on unemployment. So, those of you who have just tuned in, watching us, we are discussing the unfavorable socioeconomic issues in Bijlmer Centrum. So, our panelists are trying to analyze them and find solutions. Now, on the side of loneliness, what's behind the loneliness? And why is it more here?
When you talk about loneliness,
in Bijlmer.
I think the first question somebody would ask you.
Prevalent in Bijlmer?
The question someone would ask you is this: what proves that I'm lonely?
Okay, it's the way they are behaving.
How do lonely people behave?
So sad.
No,
Very
but
vandalistic.
I hear you. But I think loneliness is a tricky one. Tricky one in the sense that there are so many Dutch people who are living by themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Will we classify them as lonely?
Who are living by themselves?
Yes. So I have tons and tons of colleagues who...
No, that you are, yeah, it's true.
Do you get the reasoning behind what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Because we talk
There
about...
are some people who are married who are also lonely.
Okay, see, now you're going into an even deeper level. Yeah, because the fact that two people are in the house doesn't mean they are not lonely.
Let us look at the issue of sociable or being social.
Okay.
Majority of people in the Bijlmer are, I don't want to use the word inward looking.
Okay.
But they are reserved, secluded, reserved. If they don't know you, they even don't greet you. They walk past as if you are even not a human being.
Yes, it's true.
You know, or saying hello or hi, no. And as a result of that, it has culminated into a situation where they live as if there are no human beings around them. You live in the block with somebody,
He doesn't greet.
he won't greet you, he won't say hi.
Yeah.
So, with time, you realize, oh, nobody cares about me. Nobody bells me. Nobody say hello. You see? So, it is eating deep into the society.
Yeah.
Because people feel so ignored. And it leads to dementia.
What?
Yes. Because, look, I know somebody who says for the past 2-3 months, nobody has belled my door.
Did he bail on us?
Because he also don't have any business bailing others.
Now, why should someone have a business to bail him or her?
That is the problem.
I mean,
you see, you go
No.
to the metro
No.
station.
Talking about
Yeah.
it.
No, but-
You go to the metro station
Yes.
and you see this person comes, there is an earphone in his ear or her ear.
no, that's a whole
You see,
different
we don't
dialogue.
say, you know, in our native countries, it is an accepted norm
Yes,
that wherever you
greet.
go to greet people.
See them in the morning you greet, but here it's not.
Here, so they walk past you as
It
if
is so
But
offensive to
but
me.
but you guys
Very
understand the saying that if you go to Rome, you
like
do
the
what the
Romans.
Romans do.
So-
So if you're coming with the template that, oh, I greet everybody,
Yeah.
go ahead and greet them. If they respond, fine. If they don't respond, you don't have any beef.
You see, there are times you greet people
They don't
and they
respond
walk
because they're
past,
not used to
they
it.
don't know you, they wouldn't respond.
Yeah, they're not used to it.
But you see, you're talking about societal change. In other words, because you came with this template, you want everybody to basically fall in line with that template. But that won't happen.
Look,
That won't happen.
It is abnormal
The
to
friendliness.
ignore somebody, but when you fail suddenly,
Yes.
you want somebody to call an ambulance for you.
You see, you can fall
see
and
that?
nobody will call an ambulance for you too. People will just walk.
They walk away.
Of course, people will just walk. Everybody's minding
And
their
that
own
is creating
business.
the problem of loneliness.
But
People don't care about other people.
but you
I think
see,
it's selfishness.
you see,
Well,
when
I
when
think it's,
when you talk about
yes.
loneliness, okay, loneliness, in my opinion, is a
yes.
state of mind. In my opinion, yeah, it's a state of mind. You box yourself so much that you become lonely.
under depression.
Under whatever, because you choose not to interact with X, you choose not to interact with Y, you choose not to interact with Z. It's all you. Do you get it? So it's a state of mind.
Mind your own business.
It's not. We can. I mean, I'm a kind of person that I feel very free to talk with anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
So if I walk down the street and I want to be lonely, I will be lonely.
Yeah.
But if I walk down the street and I'm looking at faces, people are smiling at me, people are greeting me,
that's why-
people don't know me. Some people even see me and even go, "Oh, I know you." And I'm like, "Oh, you know me where?" And then they were like, "Oh, I saw you on TV." I said, "Okay, you saw me, I didn't see you." You know? So these are some of the things. But there are people, like you rightfully said, who have boxed themselves so much that they don't even see the fly pass by. That, if we want to address, then we're onto something. But I don't think that, because people live with people, like we said in the beginning, but they're still lonely.
Do you think
So
we
it's
can,
all up here.
do you think we can improve the situation to, extinct loneliness from the society?
I think each one of us can basically do what we can to affect whoever we interact with. Because
let me
some
give you
people
this.
would say, "Oh, I didn't know you were that friendly."
Yeah.
Oh, even you, when you are speeding off in your, and you are playing music and things,
Yeah.
you get people react to you.
Yeah.
But you do it because you also want the attention.
I don't want to attention. I want to satisfy myself.
No,
I
but-
joined a group who instituted a work safari. And the work safari is a system where people come together from all ethnic groups. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Surinamese, the Ghanaians, the Nigerians. And then we are paired. A Ghanaian goes with a Nigerian goes with a Chinese goes, and the system is that that person will visit you, you cook your native food, you'll eat with him. The following week he visits you, he also cooks his native food, he eats with you, then you interact. So with time, we realize that we are making a family within the community.
World of Foods. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's that is basically how I see it.
It's actually trying to work people together.
Okay.
You see, imagine me going to a Dutch woman's house, and then he prepared mashed potato. It's not my food, but after taking it,
Well, okay.
gradually we became friends, and then he started asking, "Oh, in Ghana, how do you do this? How do you do that?"
Oh,
And then
Jesus.
I also ask questions.
Yeah.
And then gradually, so at the end of the week,
Yeah.
we all meet and
Yeah.
then we exchange partners. And gradually we realized that, we were making new friends. We were knowing people.
Yeah.
Now you walk in the street, you meet somebody you've interacted with before. "Oh, hello, mister." You see? And then
Oh,
we
so-
become sociable.
Where were you doing this? Where were you doing this? Where?
K-Butte.
So how long has it? And
Oh, we did it for about
did it
3-4
improve the situation?
months.
Did it improve the situation of loneliness?
Very good question.
Yes, it
I
did
told
in a
you.
way.
World of Food.
It did in a way.
Because after the project, you
One
guys
day,
didn't continue.
I will send you a document about the work safari.
No,
For-
but-
you see, and then I was
it
advocating
improve
even to
because-
the leadership
No, because
of
if
the
it-
work safari.
No, but
that
if it
the
improved-
United Nations should have adopted the work
If it
safari.
improved it, why didn't it grow? Because if you do a project and the project is very successful, then move it to the next.
The organizers had to go to the Hermente for funds.
I don't think you need
to
funds for
hire
this.
Places to start.
You don't need funds for this.
You need fans for
No. Why would you need fans for this? I'm coming to your house. You're cooking for me. You're coming to my house. I'm cooking for you.
We meet to get people together. They have to rent a hall.
Oh, we can do that in one person's house. No. I'm just being real. I'm just being real here. Okay.
That's not how the system
I understand. We understand you. We understand you. But the reason we are saying, or rather, I'm saying what I'm saying is that the concept is brilliant. Don't get me wrong.
God.
Listen, I worked in a company of 340 individuals. And in that 340, we had 79 nationalities represented. Okay, so what we did as a company was that we set one day aside where everybody would bring something native to him or her. Bring it to, so it's like a free day for all of us. So like you're saying, people will bring food from their own country and people will come and taste, and then we interact and we talk, because we have different departments, and someone on the second floor, I don't even know the person. Maybe I'm on the third floor, I don't know the person, and vice versa. So this was a way to basically put us all together. And we set up what we call the culture group. The culture group, I was the chairperson for that culture group. And when this initiative was brought to the table, we found it brilliant. We said, oh, that's nice. At least we learned something from each other. So that day, you even wear something native from your country, you know. It was a brilliant concept. It didn't cost us anything because everybody was cooking by themselves. So we don't need a start still to basically. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So which also means that if this, what was the name of the project?
Safari.
Okay, if this Vike Safari was a good and successful project, I think it should be an ongoing thing. You don't stop half the way and say the Gemeente didn't give you.
No, I didn't say the Gemeente, but they need funds to start with.
Yeah, but
started the thing.
I know.
And we all met in a hall before we were paired together.
Yeah,
but we were paired gradually. So I know you need some funds to start.
But why couldn't you all contribute like 10 euros or 5 euros, all of you, and then use that to? No, I'm talking from a point where we need to also take care of ourselves. It's not always that we need to say that we are going. And do you get where I'm? This is why I'm having this discussion. But
that concept was a good one.
It is.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
You don't need to despise it.
No.
It's a very good one.
Yeah. But it can still continue without the start deal.
I'm happy to say today that I meet Chinese, I meet Nigerians,
and you can say hee how.
We greet, which under normal circumstances I would have walked past.
Oh, okay.
Without knowing each other.
Right.
It has made me friends with other families from different ethnic groups.
So
I know through the Work Safari.
Okay, so what's the recommendation we have for those the loneliness people?
It means that just join the Vike Safari.
Join the Work Safari. Join.
And you are no longer and then you are no longer lonely. So I get it.
To join the Vike Safari.
Yeah, Vike Safari. No, it's a great concept. Don't get me wrong. It's a great concept.
Oh my
but
God.
all I'm saying is that we should not say we are going to wait for money from the start still. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
But so is that the only solution we have?
Oh, it's one off. One off. And the other thing is people should dare themselves to talk to us. Exactly.
People should be friendly.
To other
people. Very important because people are too stiff. Sometimes
sometimes you greet somebody and he will not respond.
Yes.
Too many people are buried in their mobile phones. It's sad when you see it. It's sad.
It's true. It's true. Very, very.
But the mobile phone thing is a recent phenomenon. The loneliness issue has been there before the mobile phone.
But the mobile phone made it worse. Because even two people in the house, all of them are on their mobile phones.
They don't talk.
And it is. It is. So maybe that's something worth addressing.
It's true. It's true.
It's worth addressing. Seriously.
So maybe to minimize our rate of using the phone now.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
So the third, our third, this is participation in society.
Yeah.
Okay, what does participating in society mean?
Look, work. In the first place, work prevents people from interacting or getting into public affairs.
Okay.
Number two, the ability to speak to people. it also hinders.
No, what you are discussing is the second one. What's limiting? My question is, what does participating in society mean?
People are refusing to participate in society because, number one,
no, hold on. What does it mean? It means that you as a part of the community should feel involved in things that are happening
around you.
Within the community.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And people are not doing it because, number one, people don't have time.
So you're discussing the limits now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the definition of participating in the society means what?
It means being active in community,
the community
affairs and issues. Yeah.
And most of the time, the migrant community, are they active?
I think they are active in a very funny way because there are these groupings.
Don't forget, in the society in which we are in the Burma now, let's take Ghana for instance. We have the Ghana Danbe Union, we have the Ewe Union, we have the Ashanti Union, we have the Kwawu Union, we have the Agbe Union, and we meet on these terms. You understand me?
On the ethnic lines.
On the ethnic lines.
Okay.
You see? So when the Kwawus meet, they feel happy in their group. When the Ashantis meet, they feel happy. When the Akwapins meet, so you ask yourself, how do all these groups interact into, something national? It's absent, but ethnically we have all these groups there.
Mm-hmm.
But then, how do they interact with the
wider community?
Yes, because that's very important. Because
you see,
you would hardly find, for example, a Ghanaian going to a Surinamese event.
Yeah.
For example.
It's true. Yes.
And maybe vice versa.
Yes.
But these days things are changing a bit because I see more and more Surinamese people basically being interested in things that other African groups are doing.
Okay.
And it would be nice to see Africans also take the step and get involved with things that people from the Caribbean and things are also busy with.
Yeah.
That in itself would maybe bridge us or put us more closer. Qua community level, the community is not only made of these nationalities that we mentioned. The Dutch, as in the Dutch folks amongst us, they also have their groupings. There are a few coffee shops and things or bars around that I know that when you go there and you are quote unquote an African and you walk in, everybody's looking at you like, okay, exactly.
Yeah.
It is there.
Yeah.
It is not to say that you're not welcome, but because you don't find most of your quote unquote kind in there, you are a bit awkward. So that also happens. So we need to break down these walls and say to ourselves that we should feel free to mingle anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And also dare yourself to interact with people.
Exactly.
And if you try speaking Dutch with somebody and the person doesn't speak Dutch, then you make the effort and also do learn the Dutch.
Yeah.
Do you get my point? Because some Dutch people are very nationalistic, let's face it. They do speak the English. They would rather you do the Dutch with them. There are some people like that.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
And if you encounter that, don't shut the door.
Okay.
Because when you shut the door, you've widened the gap.
Okay.
So rather understand that, yes, indeed, the little try it, and then it will break the ice, and then somewhere along the line, you will see them even doing the English with you.
Okay.
So these are little tips that we should all basically empower ourselves with so that we can, bring the community together.
Okay.
I know Spanish neighbors that I have. I don't speak Spanish, but when I'm passing by and they're there, I do the hola. Hola, and that's all I know. I say the hola, and they say hola, and then they start. They're from Dominican Republic, and I don't understand. So then at one time I said to one of the ladies that I'm going to download an app that's going to teach me this. So when I'm passing by, I'll use the app to and they were laughing. But these are things that we can all do rather than, oh, I don't speak the language, so then I'm like a zombie and I don't want to talk to anybody. That should go. And especially Ghanaians, and I talk for Ghanaians for just 1 minute.
Yes.
Ghanaians, dare yourselves. I mean, dare yourselves to literally speak the language, however it is. You ask me why am I not speaking it?
Yeah.
But I'm not speaking it on on purpose. I understand everything in Dutch. I have the certificate 1, 2, and 3 of the Dutch language.
Yeah.
But I choose to speak English only when I need to use my brains, because my thinking faculty is still in English.
Okay.
I haven't mastered to think in Dutch yet.
Okay.
So that is my excuse. But if you want us to do Dutch, ik will.
Yeah.
Do you get it? I will go along with you and do the Dutch.
Yeah.
But my thinking faculty is still in English.
Okay.
And that's why I choose English over Dutch. It doesn't mean that I don't do the Dutch. I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So to round up our discussion, do we see? Do we have the hope that these problems, we have analyzed them very well, and there may be some solutions?
There's a wider area we have to revisit. But like time will not permit us.
Yeah.
The issues we are talking about today is a very wide range of issues.
Yeah.
And the solutions to it can never be found overnight.
That's
Okay.
true.
It needs time
Yeah.
to, in other words, to ameliorate or to improve upon the system.
Yeah.
You see, it has, it is difficult for man to change from our way of doing things. Like we're talking about loneliness and people are not being so sociable. It has been in the Netherlands, it has been their system for years. Because if the person doesn't know you, even he is not prepared to even entertain a greeting from you.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, and it makes you feel very sad.
I bet now it's beginning to affect them. That's why
It
they
begins
want
to affect
solution.
them. Now they want to.
But let's listen. I went and lived in a village called Vasp, right?
Yeah, West, yes, I
It's
know
around the
West.
corner
Yeah.
here. And every Tom, Dick, and Harry that met with me said hello. So maybe it is just an Amsterdam thing,
Yeah.
because there they see,
Yeah.
they would greet you.
Wow.
If you go to the south,
Yeah.
Eindhoven,
Yeah.
you walk by, people will greet you. If you go further, even more, Oudenbosch go in there, they see you, they go, how do? The first time I heard how do, I was wondering what it was.
Yeah.
But it was just another way of saying hello.
Oh.
So don't forget, big cities, big
Big
problems.
problems.
Wow.
You go
So
to
it
the
could be
villages.
an Amsterdam problem there.
It could be a big
And
city
because
issue.
of,
I want
It
to
could
know
be a big
something on
city
that
issue.
class.
yeah.
And when I reached the village, the vehicles to bring me back is not. So I sat by the roadside. And then the lady opposite the street in the other house, just walk across the street, came to me and said, "Oh, why are you sitting here alone?" So I'm waiting
You
for
see?
my vehicle. Would you mind coming for a cup of tea?
You see?
And then I was surprised.
Awesome.
You see?
A man and a wife on a bike. They were riding. They reached me. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And school children who are close from school, white kids I'm talking about. Hey, Mini. And I was asking myself, why is this not happening in Amsterdam?
Yeah, too many of you.
I was surprised. I said, how can people
Yeah.
be so friendly?
Yeah.
That's quite.
And
Yeah.
it's not happening in
And I-
Amsterdam.
Yeah. No, serious. It's
Yeah.
that serious. Yeah.
I was shocked.
If you live in other places, you will realize it's totally different.
Different.
Wow, really?
Yeah, totally different.
I went to dealing
Yeah.
to a friend who also used to
Then
go
then
there.
something is wrong here.
And then she told me, you live in the Bama, I'm not coming there.
There you go.
I said, why? He said, no, Bama, there's too much
It-
crime.
It's the reputation. The reputation. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, the name Bama has created a need for itself that sometimes it's just too bad to go somewhere and say, I live in the Bama.
Yeah.
Can I give you a tip?
They'll think you get to know.
Yeah.
Not so much a tip, but I will share something with you.
Yeah. That's
When we first came to the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
And we basically base ourselves here in Amsterdam. The local telephone number is 02069. It starts with 69.
Yes.
Now we go out to clubs and things like that, and you meet a girl, and you say, "Oh, this is my number." And then the moment you mention 02069, because that time there were no mobile phones,
Yes.
you went 69. Oh, training press.
Yes.
The moment you mention the
Mention
69,
Yeah.
That means you are living in the Bama.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
and
No.
the smart ladies amongst them, what they also did was that they will give you the phone number of the psychiatric hospital as their number,
Jesus.
and these are things that happened. Some of us had to go through some of these things. But it was, Bijlmer at that time had a very, very terrible reputation.
Yes, it's true. Yes.
And it's still in the minds of a lot of people, you know. And the community has done very, very well to change this.
God, we thank you.
What you're seeing today is an upgraded version of the Bijlmer. So it's time we all also change it by representing it and being better people, you know.
It's true, because those days we were in Rotterdam.
Okay.
Days. So we're always hearing that people in Amsterdam,
You see?
Bijlmer, they were cutting off people's...
which was not even true.
They say they attack people in the balustrades.
The business that...
They fight, and we see what?
Bijlmer in itself has got a very clear reputation.
Wow.
But it's changing.
Take time to
It's changing. No, it's changing. It's changing. Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah,
It's one of the beautiful places in Amsterdam.
it's true.
So it's changing. Yeah.
It's true. Well, we want it to change more and more, and I think it would be nice that people also learn to be friendly.
Yeah.
So if you are coming out from your lift and you meet your neighbors, greet them.
Yeah.
You know.
I do it.
Even for me, that's what I do.
Yeah, me too.
You can even use that your smiles and greetings to neutralize.
Yeah, the tension that the person has. Yeah.
Somebody,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because some of them are evil as well.
Yeah.
Like if it's somebody who is going to plan going to rob, or and you greet the person, and the person sees that maybe you are smiling, and then you interact a little bit with that person.
Yeah.
That 1 minute interaction can bring conviction to that person.
True.
Who wanted to go and do evil.
True.
So I think the issue of friendliness is required here.
Yeah.
Everybody show friendliness, show cooperation. Those of you who are giving jobs as well, don't make it so hard for those who are living in Bijlmer. You know? Yeah, so we can make do with your own solution. You said those who give job based on experience. There are so many experienced people.
Oh, there are a lot of experienced people here.
So you can bargain with them how much you want to pay them, but to just pull them off, it's not good. You know? Because of their age. So I think if we make some amendments, all of these areas will be improved, and people can live happily again.
You see, the Bijlmer is a cosmopolitan area. People from diverse areas or ethnic groups are all living here.
Yeah.
In peace.
In pieces. I was up there and I saw a tech having a party, like a wedding party. And all the people coming to that party are techs. So I asked myself, even their neighbors, their next door neighbors, as if they are not part of what is happening.
Because they were not invited.
You see, because they were not invited.
Yeah.
And this seclusion attitude of life is actually affecting the Bijlmer. If you don't belong to that ethnic group,
but
you are not part of
the
that.
neighbors as well should be a bit open. If you also see that your neighbor is doing something, you also go.
Yeah.
Because when they put it,
without being invited,
that's another thing.
So then you change it and say, if you're a neighbor, if you're going to do something, involve your neighbors as well.
Yes, exactly. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, then to just put it on the lift there.
Yeah.
I'm having my birthday. I'm gonna make noise until so.
Without inviting me.
They're expecting your neighbor to go and read it. They know you're going to make noise.
Yeah, I'd like to call the police.
Yeah.
Well, that is it. So we've given our little take here on this one, and we hope that you adjust yourselves and do it better.
Yeah.
Is that all?
That's it. That's it.
Thank you for listening, and thank you as well for making a good speech out of this whole thing. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much. So that is it for today, and we look forward to seeing you again and again and again. God richly bless you. Bye.
Amen. Bye.